Welcome, Cancer and Cancer cross watchers, to your mini weekly love reading. So I'm just going to say straight off the hop, it just felt like a really heavy energy with you guys. So I don't know if it almost feels like anger mixed with sorrow. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like you get angry when you think about it, and then when you kind of hit that anger and you feel that big emotion, it's like then you flip over into feeling almost devastated. It feels kind of like with this Knight of Pentacles, almost like you feel unnoticed. It feels like you're in a place where you kind of have to just keep pretending. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to just keep pretending that everything's fine. And I feel like part of you is trying to like send out these signals so people will, notice you. And it's not in that like, you're searching for attention sort of thing. It's almost like sometimes the mask that you've had to put on so that you continue to like, I want to say like function in society. I feel like sometimes it slips, and it's almost like, and you look up and it seems like nobody noticed. I feel like, and that seems to be what is hitting you as well, because I feel like you're the person that would notice that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you were hurting, if you were down in, or sorry, if someone else was hurting, someone important to you, or even someone around you, you'd see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you might wait to see if it's more than just one day or something, right? Because you don't want to pry in people's lives, but and that's not the card saying don't pry. That's kind of what I'm feeling from you, okay? And I feel like, but you would pick up on that. And I feel like you're kind of not really understanding why other people don't pick up on that with you. It almost feels like, well, don't they feel the connection the way I do? Am I like, are people not as close to me as I think they are? You seem to feel, I'm kind of picking up from this card that you feel a little bit like whatever it is that you're upset about, you shouldn't be. Almost like you feel a little bit silly about being upset about it. I actually feel if you told someone, you know who I'm talking about when I say that, if you told this person how you were feeling, I feel like they would actually kind of flip their lid and get really angry for you. You know what I'm saying? For whatever injustices or kind of like whatever has hit you, this person would be livid that it happened to you. And it's almost like I feel like part of you doesn't want to talk to them about it because if you did, it's almost like you kind of feel like you would have to, like you couldn't be totally open about how you felt because they'd get so angry. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want them to kind of react in a way that's going to cause problems for anybody. And it's made you feel really alone. I feel like this person is one of those people that they're not really picking up on that shift in energy, right? Can we get some advice for Cancer? This, as soon as I kind of tapped into your energy, this card came up on the split as I was kind of shuffling, like out of time, and I feel like it's almost like this might not be what everybody wants to hear, okay? But it is what it is. I feel like there's this message that it's almost like it's not going to feel good to admit to yourself that your heart was broken, but it was. And I feel like it's almost like, yeah, you were done wrong. And like, no, you didn't do anything to deserve it. And it almost feels like it's one of those things where like, you were kind of almost like an innocent bystander, and you just kind of, it's almost like wrong place, wrong time. You didn't do anything to elicit the response of whatever it was that happened. It's like, it's not your fault. You didn't have anything to do with it. You got hurt in the process. And I feel like this frustration that seems to be coming from you is from, it's almost like you feel powerless to to do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? To change it. I want to say this reading is getting a little long, so I'll wrap it up. I just want to say that I do feel that you are, it's almost like you may not realize that you've already taken the first step. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like there's so much, I feel like it's like fog or congestion, I want to say. You know when you're like you have a cold or the flu or whatever, and like you feel so sick and so kind of, like your nasal cavity and your brain feels so full that like you just can't even think. I feel like that might be the fog that you're in right now, and you may not see the progress that you're making, but it's almost like what seems to be really, you know, interesting. I feel like that's an insensitive word, so I apologize if it is, but it's just a really interesting kind of juxtaposition, right? Because you're in this really tough energy, but I feel like you may not realize that it hasn't it hasn't actually stopped you from doing anything. It hasn't hindered your progress. And I feel like that may be why it's feeling so tough, because you haven't stopped anything. You're just going to keep moving forward despite whatever happened. And I feel like it's hard to move on without them, without whatever it was. I mean, maybe it is a person, right? Or I wouldn't have said them. But I think I'll leave it there, Cancer. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.